Hi, welcome to Yellow Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters. Today, we have Miss Sweta, whose beautiful kid is studying in Matrusri DAV Public School in Miyapur. Let's speak to her and understand her perspective about the school. Hi, Sweta. Thank you so much for coming.
Hello, Santhan. So, my two children, they study in DAV Public School. The elder one is in grade 9 and the younger one is in grade 3.
What is your overall opinion about this school, Sweta?
Yes. So, before telling you my opinion about this school in particular, as a parent, what I was looking in a school, I'm going to tell you that first. So, I come from a bit of conventional schooling where the school is something, is there in place from years, right? So, there are certain set I would say values or school is already known. So that was a kind of school which was always there in my mind when I wanted to have a school or look for a school for my kids. I came from a small town where we had limited 3 to 4 schools. One will be the best, second best, likewise, right? So when I came to Hyderabad, I saw many schools. This is a big city. You will see that within one society, children are going to 10 different schools based on different preferences, affordability, likes, dislikes, or maybe conventional parents like me who have certain choices. But keeping all these apart, I put my child, my elder one, into a school that started very new. So I'll not take the name of that particular school. That school has done justice to my child, nothing else to say. But the reason is when I heard with the people around, quite learned people, like people who are, established, doing well with their work, they're well educated enough, learned enough, they started saying that, hey, let's go to this school and put our child. So I just, I was thinking, no, I don't want to go to this school. There are certain brands which I've always known. I'm going to those schools. And maybe some brands which I got to know after coming to Hyderabad. My child is going to that school. But then I too gave it a shot. I went to the school. I looked at school. I talked to the principal. There were certain things on my mind about the principal, about the kind of teacher should be there, about the safety norms. I liked all those and I put my child in that particular school. And my child studied for straight 6 years. But then there are certain problems that happens with many new organizations. So school was facing that. So in lockdown period, for one particular reason, I wanted to change my child's school. And DAV school was always there on the list of schools which were there in my mind from that conventional schooling idea. I was lucky that I approached the school in the lockdown period. Because otherwise, it's very difficult to get admission in the DAV school, especially in the mid-year, right? And even if you want admission comfortably, it's better you go at start, like LKG and UKG area. DAV schools all over India, they must be having their, I can be wrong, but 700 plus schools and 1200 to 13 educational institutions. All I wanted from a school, or I advise to any parent when they go to school, know about the head, know about the principal. Look at the number of years, look at the qualification, right? And when I met ma'am, Anandvalli ma'am, like I was impressed by ma'am. So see, in that interview, I will not be asking ma'am's qualifications, but I got to know from different sources that she was as good as in English, as in mathematics, as in Sanskrit, and she had some 14 to 15 degrees. She has been scholar throughout her life. And I could see that her personality had that command which was required. And this was my requirement in the principal, right? And then I know about DAV schools. So one thing that every school must have is qualified and trained teachers after a good principal. And I know about DAV schools that their selection process is not easy. A teacher has to write a national level exam. Then she goes into the school. She gives first round interview. And in another 2 years, she becomes permanent staff of DAV and it takes 3 rounds of interview. Your final interview is done by a panel sitting in, I believe, in their Delhi office. Then you have their regional directors. Teachers have to be the best one, trained ones. When we say trained, those who have done proper courses like B.Ed, with Cambridge schools and all coming up, Cambridge also does its own proper training. So trained teachers, a good principal, right? That is the first requirement. All these help me in,
Can you
finalizing the
can you tell us what's the fee structure in the school?
a child who's going in ninth standard. The fee is what we call as tuition fee, annual fee, etc. It comes not more than 55,000 a year. What I did not like in some of the schools, Hansan, in Hyderabad, whatever be the reason, right? I'm not there to judge. That there are certain things which were being emphasized on, because schools have certain commissions. Let's talk about it straight. You have to wear a belt of a particular brand. You have to wear a shoe of a particular brand. So a middle class parent, or maybe any other aspiring parent, wants best education for the child. And many a times parents confuse best education with all these things. So that's not the best education. Like what child is getting as the values, right? Does child comes back and say that today my teacher said this? Yes, today my teacher has my son's teachers have asked that now you are having examination for next 10 days, and I want you all to promise that you are not going to touch any of the gadgets or watch television, etc. My child agreed. I have been trying to say this to my child, and my child came back and home and I said, I promised my teacher today. So that impression the teacher is having, and that I always wanted.
Got it. And Shweta, if you have to tell us the areas where the school can still get better at.
So there are certain areas where they have to, compromise a bit. Is say for in area of providing a lot of sports coaches. So you will not be getting a specific sport coach for all the sports. So here you have the PT teachers are there, trained PT teachers. But if I look for a specific that, okay, my child plays basketball, so the court is there. If not the court, I would say a pole with a basket is there. But we don't have a trained coach for it.
Got it.
So there are one or two sports. You have a volleyball coach. Coco has been taken care very well. But one of the advantages of being in DAV is, as they are located all over the country, they have many zonals, nationals. So that exposure child gets in the school. So if my child is learning, say for basketball on his own, and if there is a zonal meet, maybe the DAVs from southern zone can take the child. They can form a team amongst themselves. Similarly, there are other things also. So we are talking about areas of improvement. So I'll not deviate. One thing that I've told, that maybe if they have more funds, they can have more coaches. And apart from it, cameras and all are there in every classroom. There are big cameras placed in rest of the campus. Yeah, maybe like infrastructure is one thing. So if I'm paying this much, I am ready to adjust. So maybe the benches quality are still, which maybe our parents have seen, or maybe I have sensed the kind of benches I have sat on, the plain wooden benches. If that matters to someone, right? So again, a person has to take decision. So if you want to say area of improvement, I'll be doing a comparative improvement, right? And coming to the small ones, like I would say younger children. So somewhere I feel that maybe teachers, if they can build a little more connection with the. So that's happened up to grade 2. Again, I am maybe being very biased for my own child. That could be my lens. I was really happy when my child was in grade 1, grade 2. Despite that, it was a period of online class. When my child went to grade 2, when the school started physically, he was looking forward to see the teacher. So that kind of connection should be there. But now 3rd grade may be a transition period. Every subject, there is a different teacher. So they come, they take their classes, they go off. I feel that my child is not coming and saying about this teacher, that teacher. So maybe a little bit connection building, if that can happen for 3rd, 4th, 5th graders. So that is another thing. They get clean and drinking water. They have rest of the things.
And
Yeah.
before we conclude, what on scale of 10, and 10 being the highest, how likely are you to recommend this school to any of your peers?
So I highly recommend the school, Santhan. Those who have such kind of, those who are looking for such kind of schools where maybe Hinduism would be the word. That little bit there's promotion of the culture without affecting or without demeaning or hurting any other sentiments. Children from all faith and religions are there in school. In fact, teachers are there. So I like the school because maybe my requirement is satisfied. There are havans, there are shloks, there's Bhagavad Gita is also being taught, and so maybe that I would have said maybe 8.5 to 9, considering that little areas of development, but I want to give an 8.9 to 9.
Fantastic. That's so good. So Shweta, thank you so much once again for taking your time, and a lot of insights and opinions that you shared will be of great help for other parents who are looking for good schools in and around Miyapur. Thank you once again for coming forward and sharing your opinion with us.
My pleasure, Santan. Thank you so
very
much.